Okay, so it appears that your mean teachers have given you a book to celebrate going away to camp. It's a book about Year 6 camp, and it's very, very scary. So we're going to read this to you, maybe a couple of chapters a day. I'll read you the back of this. It's called Crater Lake, Don't Ever Fall Asleep, by Jennifer Killick. On the back, the blurb, it says, "Welcome to Crater Lake, the Year 6 school trip where your first day just might be your last." Goes on to say, maybe it's the blood-stained man who tries to stop the coach. Maybe it's the absence of welcoming staff, but something is definitely not right at Crater Lake Activity Centre. Then, at night, things get much stranger. Lance and his best friend Chetz, Katja, Big Mac and Adrienne find themselves in a fight for survival and must work together to defeat a swarm of enemies. But whatever happens, they must never, ever fall asleep. So there we go. Probably a good time to tell you what the names are, what their nicknames are. So Katja is quite often called Kat. Big Mac is pretty much just always called Big Mac. Chetz, his full name is Chetan, but he's called Chetz. And if I come across any others, I'll let you know as we go. But I think we should get started. Also, they've made a game called Geek Robot Overlord, which is the same as Paper, Scissors, Rock. Okay, so this is chapter 1. It's called Geek Robot Overlord. Anyone want to play Geek Robot Overlord for the last cookie? I say, as the coach takes a sharp right onto a country lane. But if you win, you'll give it to Katja. Big Mac looks around from the seat in front. If Kat wins, she'll give it to you. If I win, Chetz will whinge at me until I give it to him. And anyway, Chetan's already eaten it. Katja peeps over from the top of the seat. Haven't you, Chetz? Why do you assume I've eaten it? Says Chetz. I look at him and laugh. You've got the crumbs of guilt all around your mouth, mate. I pretend not to notice as Chetan makes out that he's cleaning off the bits of cookie while actually he's pushing them into his mouth. Of course, Chubby Chetz ate the last cookie. Trent shouts from the back seat. He always ruins everything. Geek Robot Overlord, best of 3, he says to his mates. Loser has to share a room with Fangs and probably won't make it through the night. Who wants to play? Everyone on the back seat laughs like Trent is the funniest guy in the world. I've known him since reception, and I can tell you, legit, he isn't. And not just because most of his dumb jokes are about me. He just all-round sucks. If anyone gets to share a room with Lance, it should be me, Chetz pipes up, totally missing the point. I'm his best friend. Chubby and Fangy share a room. Chubby gobbles up Fangy's tomb. Trent falls over the back of the seat in front, laughing at his own joke/poem. I like to give respect where it's earned, but let's face it, it's not that clever or funny. Oh, wow, Trent made a rhyme, I say, rolling my eyes at his smug face. You can say what you want about me, but leave Chetan out of it. That's okay, Lance. I can take a joke. Chetz is kneeling on his seat facing the back of the coach. Everything about him is neat and sensible, and he has eyes like balls of chocolate, all gooey and sincere. Yeah, chill out, Lance, Trent says, and they go back to playing Geek Robot Overlord, which is the Montmorency Year 6 version of Rock, Paper, Scissors. Trent tries to claim he made it up during a wet break in October, but it was actually me, Chetz, Big Mac and Katja's creation. It's been used for making every important decision ever since. Overlord enslaves Geek, I win, Trent shouts. Trent almost always plays Overlord, so he's easy to beat. But his mates either haven't realised or don't want to make him mad, so they keep pulling out the Geek. All of them are so predictable. Good one, Trent, Chetz calls and turns and sits down again. Why do you do that, Chetz? Do what? Suck up to Trent. He's not your friend, and he never will be. I don't understand why you'd ever want him to be. Mum says he's a wonderful boy, and as we're both going to Bing Academy, It makes sense for us to stick together. Oh, look, there are going to be hundreds of people at Bing. You don't need him. Hopefully you'll go up the waiting list really fast and then you can come to Bing with me. Chetan smiles at me. Mate, it's a long list. It might take ages to get in. That's what I say to Chet, but inside I know I'm never getting in. I didn't take the entrance test and I'm not on the waiting list. I can't tell Chet that though. And when you'll arrive, you'll have Trent and me to show you around, he says. The clouds are extra fluffy in Chet's world. Year 6, I want everyone to quieten down and face the front. Miss Hosh, the assistant head, stands up at the front of the coach, trying not to fall as it bumps up the country lane. I always think saying her name sounds like you're trying to cough up something nasty. Hosh! Which works because it's how she makes me feel. I'm now going to provide you with some information, she says, pronouncing the long words especially slowly and clearly for those of us who are too dumb to understand people speaking at normal speed. AKA me, or so she thinks. This information is of the greatest importance for ensuring you have a safe and productive trip. Some of you, she looks at me, should be paying particular attention to the information about the rules. Damn if she says information one more time. There will be stickers presented to the children who demonstrate exemplary behaviour. She beams at Trent, Adrian and Chet's. And punishments for those who let the rest of the class down by being disruptive. I'll give you one guess who she looks at when she said that. She opens a leaflet and starts to read. Crater Lake is a new and innovative activity centre designed with needs and safety of your children in mind to provide an unforgettable learning experience. She looks up. We're actually the first school to be trying out the centre, so we're extremely fortunate. My mum is a parent governor, Trent says, loud enough so I will hear. And she told me we're stuck going to Crater Lake because some people's scummy parents refuse to pay for the good activity centres. There was more laughing from the jerks at the back. The centre was built deep in rural Sussex, in a crater thought to have been formed when a meteor hit the Earth's surface hundreds of years ago, Hosh continues. A meteor from space, miss? Someone asks. Well, yes, of course. Where else would a meteor come from? A meaty rowing boat, Big Mac whispers from the seat in front of me, and we crack up. Miss Hosh glares at us. The deepest part of the crater is home to the Crater Lake itself. As the River Wist, which used to run past the site, took a detour many years ago and now feeds into the crater. The lake is the ideal arena for many of our daring water activities, such as swimming, canoeing, and our epic game, The Last Man Standing. So sexist, Adrian sighs. Adrian is head girl, super smart, and looks kind of like an angry sparrow. You wouldn't mess with her. If anyone in our class is going to win a game called Last Man Standing, I'd bet everything I own that it would be Adrian. Other outdoor activities include climbing, obstacle course, and the leap of faith. I don't like the sound of that, Chet says. Chet, I say, putting my hand on his arm for added reassurance. They're not going to let us do anything slightly dangerous. That's true, Karcher nods. There are laws. I heard you have to jump over a ravine filled with starving crocodiles, Big Mac says. Chet looked horrified. The dormitories, a chill-out zone, the whole class rolls their eyes. A dining hall and bathrooms are located in the main building, which is built on a rise in the crater. At this point, I start to slip into a coma. Miss Hosh always says at least 100 more things than are necessary. Do I have your attention, Lance Sparshot? She's suddenly standing right in front of my seat. Yes, miss. She leans in way too close to my face. I'm in the window seat, so Chet has to squash himself into the back seat to avoid any uncomfortable physical contact. Her breath smells like coffee and muddy dog. You're lucky to be on this trip. If there was any way I could prove what we both know you did at the beginning of the year, you would have been excluded. If you take even the smallest step out of line, you'll be done, and there'll be a black mark on your school record before you've even started at Latham High. She withdraws from mine and Chet's seating area like a swamp monster oozing back onto its pit, and starts walking towards the front of the coach again. Chet's is frozen, burrowed so far into the padding of the seat that it's as if his skin was some weird purple and blue triangular print. Bit too close for you, I say. No words, he mutters without blinking. Katja giggles, and Big Mac coughs to cover his snort of laughter. Something funny? Miss Hosh spins around. We all look at the floor. Stickers for everyone for excellent listening, Miss Hosh says. Except Lance, Maxim, and Katja. Yeah, no listening stickers for us. That punishment really burns. The rules of Crater Lake are as follows. She nearly falls as she wobbles back to her seat where she left the leaflet. Katja and Big Mac are desperately trying not to laugh. Chet is motionless, probably still in shock. 6 children, either boys or girls, not both, to a room. Please don't say what I know you're about to say. Just please don't do it. Except for Lance, who has to have his own room due to personal issues. Ugh, whispers and sniggers all around. I hate her. Nobody is to enter the dormitory other than their own. You must remain in your rooms throughout the night. Mr. Tompkins, Miss Rani and myself will be watching at all times. She pauses to stare around at all of us, just to remind us how good she is at watching. Never wander the site alone, she continues. You must always be accompanied by a member of staff. Sucking the fun right out of everything, as usual. You must follow any and all instructions given to you by a member of staff. This is for your own safety. Chet nods enthusiastically. And of course, have fun. Your experience at Crater Lake is going to be one you'll remember for the rest of your lives. She smiles, and I think she's waiting for us to clap or something. There's an awkward moment of silence, and then stuff gets crazy. The coach lurches at the same time as the driver shouts and the brakes screech. We all fall forward, smacking our heads on the seat in front. Miss Hosh stacks at full force and rolls around on the floor. Bags, books, and sandwiches fly through the air, landing in sticky piles. Archul's unicorn pillow gets covered in mayonnaise. One of Jordan's limited edition WWE wrestling cards flies out of the window and flutters away to freedom. May the force be with you, John Cena, I call as it disappears into the trees. A slice of ham catches in Chet's hair, which is especially bad because he's a vegetarian. It's chaos. The coach skids to a stop. What happened? Hosh gasps at the driver. There's someone in the road. Of course, everyone rushes forward, trying to see out of the front window. Everybody back to your seats, Hosh screams above the noise, and she and the other teachers form a human barricade at the front of the coach. I'll call an ambulance, the driver says, grabbing his mobile and stabbing at the buttons. It's one of those old-fashioned ones with a touch screen. You hardly see those anymore. Has anyone got a signal? I have no signal. The teachers all check their phones and shake their heads. Why do we need an ambulance? Chet says. Nobody seems hurt. I don't think it's for us, I say, angling my head as far out of the crack of the open window as I can. I think it's for whoever's outside. All I can see is the empty road and nothing but trees for miles around. I press my face to the glass again, so hot it almost burns my skin, and at the same time, a bloody hand thumps against the window from the other side.